welcome to the Wheel of Review episode 3. Let's give the wheel a spin to see what my next review unit will be after the TrimUI Smart Pro. All right, looks like the RX6S is going to be with a transparent purple model that looks like a Game Boy. Looks exciting. Can't wait to get going right after this. Hey fam, Swatitu Pinik here, and it's time to get started with the unboxing from the Wheel of Review, the RX6S. As it says, let's get started. So it's by Game Console, a fancy company if I ever heard of one. They have a transparent black, transparent purple, and a solid white. Which color would you have gone with? Let me know down in the comment section below. So this is the ROC 3326 processor, which is more than powerful enough for PS1 and below. 1 GB of RAM, again more than sufficient enough for classic retro gaming. A 3.5-inch IPS display. They say full laminate, so should be no gap between the screen and the panel. 2.4 and 5G Wi-Fi. That's a nice plus considering the TrimUI Smart Pro that I just reviewed only had the 2.4 gigahertz band. And of course you can see they're saying PSP and PS1, Nintendo DS, which would be kind of interesting on the screen. But as you remember, do not indulge in games for a long time. I love these professional warnings here. And if the battery is found to be bulging or leaking, please replace it immediately. I don't know how you replace it, but thanks for the warning. As you can see, I'm opening this up first time, and there we go. Let's take a look. Set this off to the side, nicely protected at least. A little clear tray for us. A short USB-A to USB-C cable, nowhere near like the TrimUI Pros. Plasticky, not a real glass protector, but better than nothing. At least they give us something to protect our screen with. And the wet and dry wipes to actually clean and apply your screen protector. And let's see, is this going to be long like the TrimUI? No, definitely not the TrimUI Pros manual here. We got special instruction, power on off, memory card description. As you can see here, 5 volt, 2 amp, 10 watt charging. So do not use your phone's fast charger for that, or you could either fry your device or it just won't accept it. 640 by 480. So that's a good resolution for retro games like a PS1, Super Nintendo, and the like. Supports up to a max of 256 gig. Comes with 10 emulators in the box. Gives you charging instructions. Warnings. Super basic. So, not quite like the TrimUI, but at least you get a cheap screen protector, even if it is super cheap. So, let's put that up here. Or over here. Yeah, let's put that over here. All right, let's take a look at the star of this one. Oh, okay. I guess it does have an opening thing here. As it says, by Game Console, model RX6S. All right, so let's look at that here. I find it interesting that they actually do make it where the battery is swappable. I think that's the first one that I've reviewed with a swappable battery. Have a nice little texture here. Super clicky R1 and R2 and the alike. Shoulder buttons. The D-pad is at least quiet. Face buttons are relatively quiet. Kind of has a jingly sound here. The sticks have decent range of motion for being sticks on this type of device. You can see it comes with a pre-applied screen protector that I can pull off, but that's actually better than the one I just reviewed. Since it had bubbles, the TrimUI had bubbles out of the box. Nice little volume rocker on that side. Memory card slot there, power button and reset button here. And you can see we have OTG and DC. So DC is for charging, OTG would be for video out. So you just need a USB-C to like HDMI cable to put that out to your TV. The good old 3.5 millimeter headphone jack that phones seem to no longer offer. And like I say, nice bottom one here. So I got the transparent purple one. You can see a decent sized speaker. I don't know how it'll sound, but we'll test it out in just a moment. So would you have gone with the purple? I like that the buttons, the coloring is actually inset. I don't know if you can tell, but they've actually like made like a B, for example, indented into it, and then the coloring is there. It's not just colored directly on the top. And then you got function button, start and select. Oh boy, those are super clicky too. So let's take a look here. First turn on, so I can give you my first true impressions. Okay, at least it's branded here. It's not just saying game console. That's good. Kind of has a retro loading looking screen. Ark OS. It's a very nice OS that a lot of people like on their devices. So it's nice that it has there. And of course, the front end is going to be Emulation Station. So if you remember, the one I added to this after the fact was Emulation Station Desktop Edition. So you can see here we got this. They have a little LED light there to show you that it's on. Like, for example, Super Famicom in Japan, the Nintendo Entertainment System was known as the Famicom, and the Super Nintendo was known as the Super Famicom, if you're not familiar with that. And it's showing you how many games you have available over here, so that's nice. Just looking through the consoles, like Nintendo DS, we have that. Look, Mega Drive, also if you're not from North America, or if you are from North America, the Mega Drive was known as the Sega Genesis. Dreamcast, Game Gear, Neo Geo, PlayStation, PSP, options, all games. So you can have your own favorites as well. So let's take a look here. What do we have? Do we have, oh, got some clicky noise whenever we get into the consoles. So it gives you a little bit of information. 1 to 4 players, for example, released in 1999, rating 5 stars. For Crash Team Racing, sure. Let's do Crash Team Racing. Have you ever played Crash Team Racing? Oh, no BIOS found. Oh, but then it loads. Interesting. Whoa! Okay, the speaker does get loud. Don't want to get any copyright strikes for music. Got to give the guys at Naughty Dog, they've diversified their portfolio quite a bit over the last few years with games like The Last of Us. But that doesn't mean they didn't create awesome and unique games back in the day. I always love that we still have the loading screens. You can be Crash, Dr. Neo, Cortex, Tiny Tiger. Well, I live in Thailand, so we'll go with Tiny Tiger. And of course, got to put in our name here. Pnick. Okay, so select start makes you quit the games. Didn't know if it was going to be function start. Some consoles come natively with select start. That's something you can customize with Emulation Station's settings. So not every game comes with the artwork. You can see Gran Turismo does not. But a lot of them do at least come with basic can use your stick or the D-pad. I like that there's a 4-way D-pad because, again, I've owned every PlayStation that's ever been owned, along with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original Nintendo. So 4-way D-pad just feels natural to me compared to the 8-way D-pad that also includes the diagonals. As I mentioned, I think the screen looks great. You can see here it gives you your options. You can press option, select for options, start for menu, Y for your favorite to add it to your favorites, X to play a random game, B to go back, and A to launch. Again, it takes me a little bit to get used to these sometimes because being an Xbox North American player, I'm accustomed to X being down here where B is, and that's usually the enter button for us. But it is different around the world. So I have to say a little jiggly because the battery is replaceable. First time I've seen that where they decided to honor the legacy of Game Boy and have that there. Kind of hollowy sounding, but doesn't creak whenever I push on it. So in that regard, it's good. I like the transparency. I like the purple. So, and it is a lithium polymer battery. Can only be certified with a certified charger. Just means use a slow charger again. But other than that, at first blush, I have to admit, kind of impressed with this for such a cheap device. I'll go over the specs again and the pricing during my full review in a week's time. Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think of it, first blush? I'd love to hear your input. I wish, again, I'm an analog trigger fan. I wish it was analog. But again, for a Game Boy one, having analog triggers is obviously going to be much more difficult. So you get 4 bumpers rather than 2 bumpers and 2 triggers. That said, this has been P-Nick.